Hey everyone, Full Manga Alchemist here, and I'm coming at you with a top 5 manga of 2019. It's totally, personal preference for me and my own opinion. I'm just going to start out by saying that this is not just going to be a series that just came out in 2019, because, I don't really want to narrow it down like that, and I feel like a lot of series I'm super late to, and I just want to comprise a list that is just what I have enjoyed. So we're going to start out with the 5th one, and that is I Am a Hero. I'm really late to this series. It's finished up in November, so I'm not crazy late. It's not been out and done forever and ever, but it is a zombie apocalypse manga. It's set in a really different way. If you don't know, Japan has really strict gun laws. Only special permits and stuff like that can own guns. And our main protagonist here, Hideo, or Hito, I've never really heard his name out loud, has that. And he's a manga artist, struggling one, and it just follows him as his things, along with his delusions and stuff. If I had to recommend a really good in-depth review series, go look up That Manga Kid on YouTube. He has a really good series review of it. Now, moving on to the 4th entry, No Guns Life. My previous video was on No Guns Life. It was my manga of the month. Very steampunk. I really enjoyed it. There's only 2 out so far. The 3rd one's coming out in late January. I'm super excited. Just some of this art is gorgeous, and I have an in-depth thing of how I feel on the first 2 volumes on that, and the link to that video will be in the description. So, moving on to the 3rd entry, it's going to be the one that came out super long ago that I never read, but I have read other works by this mangaka. That is 20th Century Boys. 20th Century Boys, I have only read this first volume. I have all the ones that are currently released, and it is fantastic. There's this part in this first volume that almost made me tear up. I'm not going to spoil anything because I feel like it's a very critical moment. You start seeing some big things at play, but it has to do with an old gentleman who always put his job before his family, and it is just fantastic. And this, the Viz Media big signatures like this, you can't go wrong. I read Monster, and honestly, I enjoyed this first volume so much that if it keeps up like this, it'll probably eclipse Monster for me. So, moving on to the 2nd one. Now, before I jump into the 1st and 2nd, it was really hard for me to put them, and figure out exactly which one I wanted to go first, because both of these really impacted me. I really enjoyed the story. I love the art in both series. The characters are amazing in both series. So it was really interchangeable, but I do stand by the way I placed these. So the 2nd entry is The Promised Neverland. There are 12 volumes out right now. 13th volume is coming out in January. Can't wait. This series is fantastic. Has some of the most charming characters I've ever seen. Some of the best imagery, as far as 1 second you're looking at it and it's all happy and cheery, and look at us, we're orphan kids, to that's super dark and scary, and you're scared for these kids. If you, the best way I can explain it, it's like a Death Note almost, as far as like mind games and suspense and trying to figure out exactly where they're going to go next. Do not sleep on this. Ever. It is such a good series. Give it a shot. Really. You will not regret it. My final manga, Beastars. I feel like Beastars is probably the breakout hit in the manga industry this last year's 2019. I don't know how someone cannot read this and smile. It is so charming. It is such a captivating story, even though there's not a lot going on so far. It makes you think of where you are in life, and some of these characters really relate, even though they're animals. Again, charming characters. What I see, I take to be beautiful artwork, and I can't recommend it enough. Other YouTubers have also yelled this out, and they're like, please read this, and I'm one of them. Please read this. Also, I have an in-depth dive on it. I will put that link in the description. And that's it, you guys. That's my top 5. Any one of these, pick them up. I don't think you regret reading any one of these. I think that all of them are worth the investment, especially my top 2, The Promised Neverland and Beastars. But other than that, that's my video, you guys. I appreciate you watching, and all I can really say is keep reading manga, and most importantly, be kind to each other.